Is it some devil that crawls inside of you?
First thing I gotta tell you, I'm stopping the "Where the fuck are you?" This is the bad etiquette.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why?
It's I cringe every time I do it. It's so hard to.
When did you start it?
I want to say it was an episode late December 2019. It was a solo episode. I think I was high, and I think it might have been the one where I played Snowblind.
Oh yeah.
And then you put the audio in post to like clean it up.
So why did you keep it?
You and Kylie both loved it, and you're like, please keep doing it. And this just further like emphasizes the point of like, I don't think Jonathan knows what the fuck he is fucking telling me. He's just like, yeah, you do you, man. And I'm just like, I mean, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, does that mean you got negative feedback from it?
Not at all.
Oh,
but
okay.
I was thinking about it.
Good question.
That's not a bottle opener. That's
dude. I was like,
damn, dude. How do you know what to do with the electronics, but like the keystone, like the real here? There is a bottle opener on that keychain. Let's just have you find it before we get anywhere else.
I found it.
There it is. Yeah, it's the bottle opener.
Dude, that is so funny. You know what's funny? I can put a computer together piece by piece.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like just general typing,
some people are just open them.
Yeah.
General typing, like
dude.
You
watch me type on a computer. It's embarrassing.
I hunt and peck. I'm a country boy somewhere inside of me. Like I'm definitely like a fucking piece of white trash. Like
I feel that. Well, okay.
I'm poor bakers.
So you're gonna stop the catchphrase at the end.
Yeah, it also feels disgusting to have a catchphrase because it just seems disingenuous, and I'm not a fucking like. What do you want to call it? Not a caricature necessarily, even though I like to be sometimes. It just seems like a little silly.
Okay.
You know, could you imagine
Respect.
can you imagine like telling one of your like heroes like, oh, that's my podcast with the catchphrase at the, you know what I mean?
Oh, what's the catchphrase?
Where the fuck are you? Is about a podcast. Well, everyone, I don't know where the fuck you are, but thank you for listening to this. I'm your host, Dallas Bronson, joined by the man behind the curtain, J-Lo, the one I refer to when I'm saying we. Anytime I refer to this podcast, he is part of the we, because he's really just like the fucking really integral man behind the scenes, Jonathan Lopez. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to my hotel room.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Where are we right now?
We are at, what is this called? The Alamo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if we see a bunch of Mexicans running up around here, you gotta be like, hey, it's cool. My last name's Lopez. I got him. Don't let him kill me.
You pulled the last name. I love it.
Yeah.
I do not look like a Lopez, by the way.
What is a Lopez supposed to look like?
You turn this around very fast.
It's because I'm always prepared for someone to turn it on me. That's all. It's
defensive.
Just a defense mechanism.
You know what? But you're not the first person to ask me that, though.
Like, what is a Lopez supposed to look like?
And then it's just like, well, how do I answer that?
It's a virtue signaling question for someone to be like, but what is a Lopez supposed to look like? Like, it's you're just trying to entrap someone into saying something ignorant. Or like, they're supposed to look like a fucking brownie is what they're supposed to look. You're trying to get them to say that shit by saying it.
That's what it feels like.
But I'm not.
But I knew you were kidding. But I've actually had someone seriously ask me that.
What a cunt.
Yeah.
What a douche.
Very uncomfortable situation.
Yeah. Why? Was it a brownie that was asking you?
Actually, no, it wasn't. No. And it was at work too, which is even worse.
At work? Oh, that's making a hostile work environment.
Yeah. I should take that to HR. No, HR would go against me.
Yeah. They'd be like,
not a good idea. I'll just bury it deep down. Okay. We're making progress.
We are. Cheers.
Cheers.
Again, these half-empty Guinness you brought.
Yeah.
What happened? You texted me. You're like, "Hey, man, you mind if we have some brews while we record?"
I picked it up after work, and then on my way home, I had to stop and grab my microphone.
Yeah.
And I opened up the trunk, and all the beer fell out.
It just wanted to get out of that fucking
Yeah.
Prius to save its life.
Yeah, it was
like, ugh.
it was the saddest part of my day.
When'd you get the fucking pussy mobile?
Everyone says that too.
No, there's this fucking Prius that someone owns that works at the Target by my house because I always see it parked. There's a bumper sticker and it literally says, "Wow, cool Prius." No one ever, like, in quotes.
Yeah. So I was driving a Kia previously.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I hit a pothole pretty dang hard in Napomo.
Oof.
And I never had the car looked at. So apparently it blew a ball joint.
Oh.
And then so I had some stuff shaking down there.
That's like your arm getting fucked up and you not looking at it. It's bad.
So, and then I guess that vibration had caused a leak in my transmission in one of the gaskets. So then my transmission started leaking and I didn't know about it, right? So then when you don't have enough transmission fluid in your transmission, then metal starts grinding together. Yeah. So ruined my transmission.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So I love how that happens though. Like people are just like, I'm not going to look at it. And then I get a whole new car out of this.
You know,
That's
the worst part though is when I took it to the shop to get it diagnosed.
Yeah.
I told the guy how it happened and he's like, well, if you had never hit that pothole in the first place, you would still have a car.
Fucking
he put
idiot.
it like that. I'm like, wow, thanks.
Well, how depressing. I will go back in time, list my regrets, and this will be one of them.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob. What a fucking swell guy. Yeah, mechanics are fun like that. Very, I notice like people who are into anything, I don't know, people who are good at anything are not usually good people.
A little entitled,
like
maybe?
Good. It might be a little bit of entitlement. It might be a little like condescending, a little
Okay.
like.
Well, do you consider yourself good at anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And in certain situations, I try not to be the condescending asshole in that. And
I feel
that's
the
why,
same way.
That's good though.
Yeah.
It's us. I think it's
sometimes
just,
I have to catch it.
well, it's not a universal rule. It's not a law of gravity where, oh, you're good at something, you have to be rude to people or you have to be disingenuous or condescending to people when it comes to that topic or subject. Like I consider myself good at jujitsu to an extent. So when I'm like teaching someone something in jujitsu, I try to put myself, I was actually talking to Chris Lambert about this just recently. And I was like, I try to put myself, well, he brought it up, beginner's mind. You ever heard that before? It's like a Zen philosophy to have a beginner's mind, to approach everything with a beginner's mindset. So essentially,
what does that look like?
So essentially, like you can teach me something about something that I already know. Like I could be teaching you jujitsu, and you could point something out, just maybe from an outsider perspective. Maybe something from I might be too close to the situation, and I'm ignoring something because it's so close that it's become obscured to me.
Okay.
Then you're like, well, Dallas, what if I put my hand here instead of reaching around and grabbing the belt? Wouldn't that, like be quick? And I was like, oh, I never thought of it like that. If I'm open to that and not being no, you got to do it this way. You can't listen. It's going to,
I feel like that would ruin the experience a little.
It might ruin the experience, but it also like, I would really like if someone was teaching me and I offered up something, they were open to it and vice versa. Just embrace it. That might not even be like the best description of beginner's mind, but I do try to interact with like I don't know anything about these microphones necessarily, but then I know you might not know something about the Zoom recorder I have. So like we just bridge.
So
that
that's
gap.
like common ground,
Common ground, yeah. I love Maker's Mark. This is
I've actually never had this before.
Kylie's dad got me a bottle for Christmas one year. It was the first time I had it, and we drank the whole thing one night. Yeah.
The bottle I have at home right now is Woodford. Yeah.
Woodford Reserve, one of the smoothest, best, absolute. I don't know if I've had anything I like as much as that or better, at least not yet.
When did you realize that you liked whiskey?
As soon as I realized that being any sort of traditional masculine person interested me.
I was not expecting that answer.
But like it's an honest answer where it's like, of course I'm going to like, the first time I smelled Jack Daniels, I was 13 years old, and it was the most, I've never been able to get that sensation of like I've never smelled anything like it up until that point in my entire life. It was the strangest thing. I never knew Jack Daniels, the thing that looks cool on t-shirts and punk rock and like heavy metal,
kind
like
of
guitar.
an icon.
You know, it's an iconic thing. One of the worst whiskeys out there. It's really not that good.
I would second that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll still drink it. I'll have a Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
I know what I'm getting into every time. You know what I mean? It's like Starbucks coffee, not that good. I'm going to go to Starbucks, get a coffee when I want one. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
I still do that.
Even
though
still
I
do
don't.
that.
You know what I order though?
What?
Americano.
That's good.
Because it is better than what has been sitting there since 5 a.m., 4 a.m.
Well, actually, I'll give you a little insider
Okay, let's hear
scoop
it. Let's hear
about
it.
the coffee. When we open at 5 a.m. to 11 a.m., we rotate those batches between blonde, dark, and medium.
Okay, that's
every
why.
10
That is why
minutes.
sometimes when I come in at a certain time and I'm really craving a blonde roast,
Can't
and they
get it.
don't have the blonde roast.
After 11, we don't brew anything but the medium roast. So if you want blonde roast, you have to get
Do
there
a pour
before
over?
11, or do a pour over, which is stupid because
It
you're
never
getting
tastes the same.
Never tastes the same.
No.
People don't know how to do them right, and they're not the same.
I notice
experience.
it's just like ungodly strong.
Get a blonde Americano. You can do that. There's blonde espresso at Starbucks now. That's what I do.
shit.
But this dude came in the other day. He ordered an Americano. He's like, "Can I get a Americano upside down?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
What does that mean?
Do you mean it means the ingredients are put in backwards instead of the traditional route. So a lot of people will get a caramel macchiato and they want it upside down, which means they want the shots first and then the steamed milk.
Oh, okay.
But traditionally with a caramel macchiato or a macchiato, you're doing steamed milk and then the shots go on top. So an Americano.
I don't
Shots
get it.
of espresso.
Well, no, I get it. I get that it's backwards, but
Yeah.
what's the point?
So the point is, when you order an Americano, it's going to taste a certain way. It's going to be hot. It's going to be shots, and then they're going to put hot water on it, and it's going to blend that way. But if you do it the other way, if you do hot water first and then you do the shots on top, the espresso is the first thing you're tasting, and it's blending with the hot water.
Okay.
And it tastes better, and that's
Okay.
why he did it. And I had said, like, dude, do you mean a caramel macchiato? And he's like, I've been doing this 15 years. And I was
Triggered.
like, oh, okay, yeah. And it was one of those things where it was like, you just taught me something that I should know, but I didn't.
Okay.
You know, beginner's mindset. And I was like, holy shit, yep, you teach me, idiot. I had no idea. Fucking, there we go. And it just like,
Dude, the Starbucks in our area just
Yeah.
had a wave of renovations.
really?
Have you been to any?
Oh,
They look so different.
Which ones? Because
Well,
like,
the Napomo one, which I'm surprised they even got a renovation.
Yeah.
Also,
I think you get a 10-year renovate. Like you get a whole new store after 10 years.
okay. I wonder if you've seen the latest floor set that they're doing.
Sure.
It looks so different.
Yeah.
I've noticed with a lot of chains, they're going for that very sophisticated.
It's so gross.
Yeah,
The
it's
modern.
very, very corporate looking.
It's so gross.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Okay.
It looks like
even
a
the counters
fucking-
look different.
It looks like a fucking
Like a hotel lobby or something.
To be a futuristic fucking talk space or something. It's so stupid. It's not cozy. It's not. I like traditional things a lot.
Yeah.
Like traditional masculinity. Sorry, everyone. I know it annoys the shit out of people. Oh, you know what? One of my guests actually said like you getting canceled would be like one of the best things for your career
What?
as a person.
Wait, like on a podcast?
No,
Or-
just
or
like he
just-
just told me privately.
Oh.
Like he was just like, that's so funny. He was just like, and I was like, yeah, probably.
And how does that make you feel?
Like I'm
Doing
bulletproof.
something? Oh.
Because like I'm not going to apologize for something that I'm saying because it's usually in jest or it's usually a joke. I don't necessarily feel the need to. Like you can get mad at me and call me names and
that's your right.
say I'm bad,
Right.
and I'm just like, oh no, what am I gonna do without you? You just fucking doubled down. Dallas, you can't say the R word. And I'm like, whatever, you're fucking retarded. I can say it if I want. Just like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you got to embrace that.
Yeah.
You can't let
And the
someone
coolest thing-
someone who has no effect on your life anyways somehow gets to decide what you can and can't do or say. Not okay with that. Say it.
Have you heard about the whole Star Wars thing with
Gina Carano?
Yeah.
You obviously aren't on social media a lot. I swear I shared like 1,000 things
No.
about it.
What are you primarily on?
Primarily, mostly just on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
I do have a Twitter where I only write jokes and just put them on.
Okay.
They're just like one-liners and
I have never had
topical.
any exposure to Twitter, so I'm completely.
It's probably good for you. It's where all of my I noticed it's where all of my friends.
I may start one just to follow just you.
That would be really cool. I if anyone who does like jokes and little one-liner edgy humor, that's where I put them all. Like just throwaway jokes. It's at Bronson Dallas.
See, and I like that because it's content or context, really. You know
Context,
what you're getting.
and it's content.
Yeah.
It's free content, and it's funny.
Yeah.
I like them. I'll go back and I'll go, son of a bitch, I fucking wrote that.
Yeah.
Which I know you're not supposed to do, but it's okay to be proud of yourself because a lot of the time, no one else is being proud of you yet. If you believe in yourself and that self-belief will carry you to other people believing in you, do it.
Preach
I
it.
believe in myself. I'll like my own post. I'll share my own Instagram. I'm like, I got to support myself because someday someone won't. If I'm not doing it, that's just an excuse for someone else to not believe in me also.
I believe in you.
I know. You seriously do. And you're seriously so supportive. And I thank you so much because it's so cool to have someone like this really important backbone of this show. Also, if you ever don't want to do this anymore, I would not.
I've never had the itch to be like, you know what, fuck this. You know,
I'm always thinking.
haven't felt that.
I'm always thinking. I was like, when is Jonathan just going to be like, yeah, I'm done. I don't want to do that anymore. We're good.
No, I've never felt that.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't wait to
It's hard to-
earning ad revenue and then like send you your cut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that goal is such a big one in my mind.
And that's not even like why I even helped you. It's
well, yeah,
I don't
because
know.
if that's the case, it's not
right.
working.
Like, could
I
you
have no
imagine
ad
like, oh,
revenue
maybe we
yet.
should help us like get some money.
I think, but that is a part of believing in someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm nice to people because I'm like, they're gonna respect me and I will have connections with them from now on. That's
I
important.
forgot exactly how or why I reached out to you. Did you reach out on like social media?
I didn't ask you. I was making something and then you were like, hey, I don't even remember how you reached out to me and you were
Okay.
like, hey, could I like mix an episode or like do the sound? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Okay.
And you did it. And I was like, oh wow, that's cool. And then you came over and you like kind of showed me how to do certain things. Cause what kept happening is I kept recording, with my laptop mic accidentally instead of like the microphone I had.
remember
And I was
that.
like, why does this sound bad? But it sounds good here. I don't get it. So
Good times.
yeah, good fucking times. Yeah, I think about like one of these days, Jonathan's just going to be like, wait a second, why am I spending energy doing that? I need to fucking get that out of the way.
You know,
like,
I've wondered
am I
that too.
harassing him?
There have been times where I have thought, I wonder if he thinks about, I'm just going to bail one day.
I full blown expect it. Like, it's
See, that thought almost angers me. I don't know.
that's good though. That means that we like can bridge something
Yeah.
that hasn't been talked about. Because also, like, I was like, oh, maybe this is like the last episode he does, or he'll come talk to me before he's, shooting on up north. Like,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no, what's he gonna?
Well, I figure.
What's his mindset?
I mean, because I do a lot of music recording down here, and
yeah.
I'm gonna be down here a lot. It's not like
And it's not, there's really not like a real disconnect because I also don't fucking live here. Mm-hmm. So
but we're still in contact,
Exactly.
And,
We
and
still
the
have a
biggest reason
contact.
is because of the podcast, and I think that's why I appreciate the podcast is because it is a bridge for us.
it maintains like a connection.
And it's something
with
that
someone.
we both strive to create
and improve. I
Yeah.
like your feedback too. I love having feedback from people that isn't just negative. Sometimes is constructive. People out there, please feel free. Give me some feedback.
What I usually do is when I mix an episode, just depending on how busy I am, what I'll do is I'll pick sections of the episode to edit, and I'll look at waveforms, and if I feel like there's something that
Incongruent.
yeah.
Yeah.
then I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But what I really like
Figured.
doing is because I haven't heard the whole episode in context. Is when it's when it's mixed and mastered. What I'll do is when you post it to Spotify,
Yeah.
that's when I'll listen to it the
That's
whole way
fun.
through. So it's like I'm listening to this new episode.
Yeah.
So it's like fresh content for me.
That's really
So
interesting.
that's what I've been doing.
I figured because I was like, there's no way he sits and listens to this whole episode. That would drive him
So yeah,
crazy.
could you imagine me sit there listening to
God.
the whole episode, and then when I'm bouncing it to MP3, that itself, depending on how long the episode is,
Yeah.
that's maybe 40 minutes to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
you know? So my favorite thing though is looking for points of interest to check, making sure everything is right.
What is it most often you having to check? Like, what the fuck is going on right here?
So doesn't happen often. Sometimes gaps of silence or just peaks in audio. So like someone gets really loud, I just want to make sure it doesn't distort.
That's good.
You know? So
Yeah,
gotta check it that way. But
that's interesting.
I really like just listening to an episode all the way through from start to finish.
Like
That's what I
it's all
love.
done.
Yeah,
That's fun.
That's
really cool of you.
It's almost the same way when
Do
it comes
you-
to my music work is when I'm mixing a song.
Yeah.
I am viewing that production from a very technical standpoint, right? And then when I get close to having a song done, I turn off my screen, anything from distraction. I sit there, sometimes in the dark, and just listen to the song itself,
Yeah.
you know, as a whole, and what it means as a creative standpoint from the artist and sonically too. It's almost the same thing. That's why I like listening to the podcast after I cannot touch it anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's there, it's done.
Have you listened and went, fuck, I fucked that. I missed that part. I fucked that part.
No,
up.
well, the only thing that has got me is sometimes when you won't mention that there's a break.
I don't care.
Okay.
You don't need to put.
Okay.
It's so
When-
stupid
when you-
to put something in every time I leave the room.
Yeah.
I earned zero money from people learning that I have a PayPal or a Cash App. As awesome as these listeners are, they don't give me money. Like, I think 2 of them ever did, and I bless their hearts. I love them for it, and it was really important. But again, they also haven't done that in a very long time.
Wow.
Life is hard out there.
Life
right
is hard, yeah.
I think a big change in the podcast was last summer when I just took a month off.
Yeah,
Just
I
didn't
remember
do
that.
anything.
I remember
It was
that.
a big deal, and it really kind of like,
So what
Hey,
do you
Dirk-
mean a big deal? What do you mean?
you know how your relationship with someone changes over time? It was like I had a big argument with someone, and it changed the way we interact with each other. And it wasn't that I was arguing with listeners or myself or the podcast or the
Okay.
idea of having it. It wasn't the identity of being a podcast host. It was, okay, there's all of these protests going on. The fucking world's burning down.
Yeah,
the
that's right.
fucking COVID outbreak is our governments are doing shitty things. It was just like, this is too much for one little podcast host to handle, and I'm gonna say something stupid, and it's just not the time. And I also didn't want to be. I almost felt like people were expecting. This is so egotistical, so please embrace it for a second. I know how this is gonna sound. I felt like people were expecting me to have a fucking podcast episode where I'm making light of the situation and mocking it or saying
Right,
why
'cause
it's stupid or
very,
why I'm
it would be formulaic of you to do
very.
right.
And I like saying fuck the formula. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate to be painting myself into a corner. It's like, no, I gotta fucking flip the table every
Because
now and
then that becomes habit, and it's very hard to break habits for
Yeah.
a lot of people.
It's hard to break habits. It's also hard to. It's hard to embrace new ones,
That's a good point.
and I just wasn't ready to be that guy
Okay.
either. Because it's I don't fucking I know it was fun at first when that's what I'm doing, but it's also the podcast is changing. I'm changing. I'm growing as a person. It's growing too.
Yeah, and I think the coolest part about the podcast is it's documenting that change. You know,
Agreed.
I think that's really cool.
To me, that's what it is. It's a documentary of where I'm going mentally.
Can you imagine listening to these podcasts maybe 40 years down the road?
Yeah,
That's going to be a trip.
It's gonna be a trip. I hope they're around and I can still listen to them.
Yeah.
I hope my kids are Dad, no one can ever hear these. You'll never get out of prison.
That was good.
Just wait, just don't listen to the first couple there. Jonathan wasn't on board yet.
Spare me.
Jonathan, do you want to talk to the? You're gonna be in the cell with me because all the super fucking controlling people. The thought police have already arrested us and kept us. You're an accomplice to my.
What if that's a real thing though?
It will be if you don't.
shit.
If we're not careful, like that is a slippery slope. But honestly, fucking, I guarantee, like people are like, "What? I can't just rape and pillage villages anymore? What the hell?"
I thought this was America.
Yeah, what happened? You know, it's just changes we go through.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to be here forever, and neither are our ideals or values that we have.
Yeah.
They'll be kept alive in some way, in some shape and form, but
And also, they could be looked at as very archaic.
very archaic, and it will be. And there's going to be a society of very advanced beings that are not us that will look at the things we do and the way we do them and go, "What a bunch of fucking barbarians." And more power to them. But right now, I'm going to be the fucking barbarian,
Yes.
and I'm going to carry a club, and I'm going to be that dumb ogre, and I'm going to hit shit I don't like over the head with it. Because fuck,
Dude, okay.
it just might be a microphone club right
I
now.
was watching, not watching, it was on Spotify. Before that, hold on. That's another thing. It was going to go to stand-up comedy. How are you feeling about the podcast now?
I'm feeling like it's on the uptick, getting back to. Also, having a guest is really important. I really like the conversation because I get to learn about myself, how I stand up to other people's thoughts and my own, whether I'm backing mine up or contending with theirs. And it's just really good for people to listen to a conversation, because that's the best part about a podcast and like listening to it is going, oh my God, there's other people out there that think in a way I admire or a way I also think I relate to this.
And
this
also
has
ways
been
you've
discussed.
never thought. You know?
They're going to put it in the word order that I haven't thought of yet, but I have been thinking and it's been swimming around in my brain. That's really important. I think it's really important. Podcasts changed my life. I was a dumb, shitty, fucking alcoholic little idiot teenager that liked doing acid and getting in fights and just being toxic. And I still do all of those things, but now I'm a good person too.
Evolved is the word.
I've just grown as a person.
Well, how do you feel about the move to San Diego and how that has affected your life in general, but also the podcast?
Honestly, if it wasn't during a pandemic, I think it would be a very exciting change.
Okay.
But it's been kind of a fizzle because it's so hard to access people for an episode. It's so hard to go do social things and go, oh my God, that's so cool. You like that shit? I have a podcast. Would you want to talk to me about that? I can't go to the Comedy Store in La Jolla.
Yeah.
Right, and be like, oh my God, you're an upcoming comic, you're an open micer like me, let's fucking like bullshit.
When's the last time you've done a show?
Fucking the week before everything closed down.
Damn.
So almost a year ago.
Okay, has that stalled your
Writing?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I write less, but I still like I said, I'm writing jokes. I'll put them on Twitter, like throwaway, just content, just to have them. I would also tell almost all of those jokes on a stage that night. If I was like, oh, open mic night, gonna go make a joke about Tiger Woods' car accident, not the kind of driving he thought he could do.
I vaguely saw that on Reddit today.
Yeah. So he was filming I don't know what he was filming. It was like some golf celebrity thing. He was golfing with David Spade, kind of giving him tips, oddly enough, the day before. And I saw that and I was like, oh, that's super cool. I love David Spade and Tiger Woods. This is amazing. I've been getting into golf over the past year and a half or so. So
that's right. You were talking about getting golf attire.
Yeah.
And how stoked you were about it.
Dude,
I thought that was really great.
It's so
I would have never
fucking-
expected it.
I know, right? Yeah. I still have full-blown golf outfits at my house right now.
Man.
Yeah, I might have golf pants in my bag here.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But he this morning got in a car accident and his car flipped and got some leg injuries and had to go through some surgery. So
Yeah. Updates on that?
none that I've read.
Okay.
I haven't really been on my phone. That's the cool thing about being like on an anniversary, like little getaway.
Are
is
you
like,
actively just trying to, we'll put the phone on pause for a bit, at least for a couple hours?
I really just went on like a little cleanse of no social media for a week or two. And every time I do that, I get less and less interested in the social media once I have it the next time, once I re-download it. I'm just like, this is easier to let go of. It's so nice without it.
I did that, I think it was maybe around 2019, the beginning of that, and
Yeah. I have like vocal fry. Do you hear that?
a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fine. It's texture.
Well, I was like drinking. Finish your thought. I was just fucking cognizant of that. Go ahead.
But did you notice when you take a break? When you take a break, do you delete the app from your phone?
Yes.
Okay. I hate it when you first do that, and when you pick up your phone, and you just automatically
Go to the space where it used to be.
I
You're like,
hate that. Fuck. How does that make you feel? It made me feel like trash.
well, it made me feel like, ew. Like,
Exactly.
why am I?
Yeah.
Why am I going towards the thing? It made me realize how often I'm clicking and looking for the social media that I don't need. That's not making me feel better. That's
Right,
not making
and
me
then after a
productive.
session of endless scrolling, you realize that you didn't really gain anything from it, right?
Well, here's the thing. There are things I gain from social media all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I find I get news, I get content, I get interaction with would-be fan base.
Okay.
So there's that.
That's true. Yeah.
I think of new jokes. You know, sometimes I'm just like, oh, there's my friend who wears stupid fucking shirts now, or oh, there's my friend who is vegan. Well, now I have a joke about vegans because I think they're dumb. You know what I mean? Where it's just like it's that fucking easy.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, that pisses me off. Like I will doom scroll, or I'll be on social media and I go, I don't fucking like this. I'm gonna mock it now. I have a joke about it, and then I get to, excuse me, use my fucking creative influence and creative side and like my whatever, you know, way with words that I like or appreciate and get my own flair and style on it, and then I get to use like my like toxic asshole, like I hate the way that you do things, and I get to like blend it.
Well, that's kind of cool though, because you take from it in a very constructive way. You know, like you can use that to generate jokes, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
I've just never gotten anything from it. You know, it doesn't help me in my creative aspects.
That's perfectly
So-
okay. It's probably so.
That's-
I envy people who can do and pursue the things they like to do creatively, and that things they pursue that just like validate them as a person, and they like the experiences they enjoy. I really envy that, because what I want to do with my life is like I really want stand-up comedy to be a part of it, and to like continue doing that. I want to see what other comics are posting. I want to see like the Tiger Woods thing. I wasn't going to make a joke about Tiger Woods, but then Mark Normand made a joke and I was like, I got to write one. So I usually like the Twitter joke. Like I'll go with the first thing that comes to mind. Don't care if it's offensive. Don't care if it's stupid. I just throw it out there and I go tweet. It never gets likes, doesn't get retweeted. Every once in a while, I have a fucking on point one.
Yeah.
Like when this pandemic started, I saw and people just started wearing masks. I saw people driving by themselves with masks on. I was like, driving with a mask on is like kind of like flirting with a condom.
I
on.
remember that joke.
Yeah,
that was a good
you
one.
know what I mean? Where it's just like it makes sense. It's funny. It's like quick comparison. Boom, boom, bam.
Yeah.
It's out there. So
Yeah.
just jokes
I
like
like that
that.
one. Yeah,
I like
good.
that one too.
Yeah.
And it like. I actually made like a second part to that joke where it's like, I'm not going to wear two masks the same reason I won't wear two condoms. I don't even want to wear one in the first place. So
It's a thing now, huh?
yeah. And
Double
it's double mask is so embarrassing. If I see someone wearing two masks, I think it's safe for me to take mine off now because they're twice as likely to not get it. I think it just canceled me out.
Yeah.
I can have mine off. So I think if half of everyone wears two masks, the rest of us don't have to wear masks. I didn't pass a single math class in my life, so
Oh my God,
don't
dude, I
take,
feel that.
Don't
I feel
take that home with you.
No, I can relate.
But
Oh my gosh.
yeah. Also, like social media, like I bought that hat because I saw it online. It was an Instagram ad, and I was like, I fucking love that hat. I love that show. That's why I wanted it. I'm so glad I got that. I wouldn't have
Justified.
seen it, you know,
Justified.
justified. Or like sometimes I'll read an article and I'm like, wow, I read an entire thing about Hemingway.
You like posting those articles?
The fake ones, the
Yeah,
satirical ones.
yeah.
Babylon
I
Bee.
love that. I read those.
Love them.
See, when I see
They're
that,
so
I
fucking
read it. I'm like, this is great.
rude. Well, it's you know what I've thought about doing is having like a Bad Etiquette News Network, like BENN, and like just making my jokes, having like the dumb fake news, like whatever my news.
That is a really good idea.
And I was like, I just need to have this because I don't have content to show everyone every day for having
Yeah.
a podcast, but I want everyone to listen to the podcast, and I want everyone to know it's tongue in cheek, and I don't take myself seriously. And if you take something seriously, I'm going to shit on it, even if I like it. So, or even if I agree with you.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
And so I really have just been like, I need to have like the like Bad Etiquette News Network or like something silly like that, where it's like BNSMBC and fucking.
That would be amazing if somehow you got some kind of video set up.
Yeah.
And he did like you were a news anchor.
Yeah.
It was just completely bonkers.
Well, the reason why that would work too, and part of the reason that's such a like good format right now, especially with the COVID situations. Andrew Schultz. Anthony Schultz is a pro skateboarder. I always mix their names up because I'm dumb. So Andrew Schultz got a fucking Netflix show from doing that exact thing. Got a Netflix special doing like 4 15-minute segments on news, just making writing jokes about the news. Like, you know how late night hosts would do their monologue?
Yeah.
It's not funny when there's no audience and you're just standing there and you realize how like cringy and like how formulaic it is, and it's like, oh. So the correct format and the right way to do it, and the guy who figured it out was Andrew Schultz, and he's hilarious. And I kind of was like, I could do something like that. What would my version of it be?
I think you
and
should
love
branch out
Babylon
your
Bee.
creativity. I think you have the capacity to do so.
And I was like, whoa. Why am I just thinking I could be like just a stand-up right now? Because it's going to be a long time before I have any credibility as a stand-up. I'm still a white belt at that. So
I love that.
Yeah, I bring like jujitsu metaphors into everything because it really teaches you a lot about life. Oddly enough, I'm getting fucking. My throat is killing me over here. Why am I doing this to myself?
Poor guy. First time on a podcast.
Yeah, first time. What can I say? I'm a fucking amateur. I like talking too. I think it's standing up straight and talking.
Yeah, it's really taking a toll on you. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Man.
So, one of my biggest fears about moving so far is just not finding work in my creative field. Of course, because of the pandemic. I mean, if shows were going on, I'd love to go to shows and just hand out a business card. You know, that's great.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the best way to meet bands. Because all the work that I have going on right now is because I've met people pre-pandemic.
So for those of you who don't know, Jonathan's a recording engineer, and a damn good one at that, because he's made this show sound better than it deservedly needs to sound.
Thank you.
The sound quality you've provided for this show has made it so much more successful than it would have been without it.
Thank you.
And it's the number one compliment I get is how good it sounds, not the content, but how good it sounds. Yeah, most people are like, yeah, I didn't listen to the whole thing, but what I heard was great.
Moving to Oregon, to a city close to Portland, there's a lot of opportunity, but that's maybe a little stalled because the pandemic. And I go crazy when I don't have creative
aren't
work.
Things opening up though?
Yes,
Aren't
slowly.
things
So there
getting there?
is hope.
And by the time you move, it'll probably be considerably so more
Fingers
open.
crossed. Fingers crossed.
Have you considered moving to a different state that maybe is more politically aligned with open things, like more freedom to do so type things?
Well, do you have any examples?
Phoenix, Arizona, maybe
Do
Texas.
not want to live in the desert.
Okay, don't want to live in the desert. There's parts of Texas that is not the desert. It's also
true. Austin,
very
Texas.
large. Austin
That has no power.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Once in a lifetime storm.
Yeah.
The one asterisk on moving to fucking Texas right now. Those poor guys. It was the only time in the past year where I've thought, oh, thank God I didn't move to Texas.
Yeah.
The whole rest of the time I was like,
I mean, were you even thinking about it though previously?
maybe not previous to the pandemic, but it was just always in the back of my head, that Arizona, Montana, like maybe just like a red state, just because I know the governor or like government, their way of thinking may not close it.
Yeah.
I may not agree with them politically, to every T.
Yeah.
But I do like the more freedom to err on your own accord instead of, don't worry, we're protecting you by making criminals out of you. I don't necessarily agree with that.
I like the way you put that.
Well, that's what it feels like, and I don't think this whole past like year and even doing the podcast, it has taught me a lot about personal freedom, individual rights to do things, and respecting your neighbor.
Yeah. So that's good.
So, but for right now, I'm here, so
Okay.
I'm making the best of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Long term, do you have anywhere you'd want to live?
Yeah, I would love to live. No. No. There's nowhere where like, oh, I need to be there.
Okay.
That's such a odd concept to me.
Okay.
I would love to be somewhere that was like, it's not the environment necessarily so much as like what I'm making of
Of the situation.
what I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
Okay.
living.
So
at
you
my-
could live anywhere and it won't affect the way you would perceive and progress.
Yeah.
Your future and your progression.
If this continues where there's a constant like interruption by bureaucratic governments and things like that and local agencies, then I definitely want to live somewhere where they are doing this less, which, unfortunately for some would be a red state or something like that. So somewhere where I could go to a comedy club. There's comedy clubs open right fucking now. People are doing comedy, and I'm just like stuck in like California. Like maybe someday I'll be, do that, get to live and follow my dreams. And then I'm just like, oh, week 74 on the podcast. Still have gained no success in my personal agenda, and dreams have soured. And
Some of the
You know what I mean?
episodes that I really enjoyed were hearing about your shows and your progression through comedy. I thought
Yeah.
that was really cool.
I really wanted to chronicle it because I know one day there's going to be someone that wants to be a comic, and they're going to look back and they're going to go, Jesus, at least I'm not like this fucking retard.
He started from there.
Yeah, what
There
a
is hope.
dumb asshole. I got this covered. I'm way funnier than him. Some kid that's like, I've been TikToking since I was 7 years old.
People
I
make
have
a living from
7
TikTok, right?
That's pretty cool. I actually got a TikTok recently. I have the Bad Etiquette TikTok. I haven't made or done anything with it because watching TikToks makes me want to commit genocide. So, I'm
One
just
of my favorite things though is just watching TikTok cringe. That's fantastic. I love it.
well, I can't do cringe.
Really?
I can't do cringy things. Cringy things make
That
me
shit is amazing.
go against my own personal beliefs. It's right there. You know what I mean? Like if I see something cringy, I go,
Okay, well, what do you consider?
that's it. We should lock everyone up. No one should be able to vote or have rights. There's no way everyone should be fed through a tube, and you should have to earn your reproductive rights through a state agency. Like I'm dead. Like I go full blown like communist regime like control when I watch cringy things,
Yeah.
which is
Dude,
so
I
against
love it.
every bit of like my personal life choices.
Could you imagine making content in a serious matter? And at some point down the line, it's considered cringe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you hate yourself?
No.
Okay.
Because you have to shed that
have
part
to
of yourself.
accept it, yeah.
Oh, also, I mean, I don't know, because I don't think anything should be taken too seriously. You should always kill your idols, kill your darlings, all
Okay.
of this.
In any sense?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because we're all just people, right?
it's so finite. If you're taking it too seriously, you're interrupting the progressive flow and the fun and rhythmic environments that the rest of us are trying to make for ourselves.
Okay. I like that.
I could be perfectly wrong, and that's okay
No,
too.
that's-
And I would love if someone was like, actually, your head is so like it's like those people who are so woke they've become like prejudiced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's just like like you're so overcorrecting, or people are, I believe in so much freedom to do this, or I believe in I have to joke about everything so much that nothing is sacred. You know what happened recently?
Let me know.
I stopped making jokes to Kylie. Like I stopped teasing her. I stopped making small talk jokes. Stopped making light of things in our relationship. I'm just like serious guy to her now. Only say things that are like my genuine feelings.
Well, why is that?
All of the disagreements, fights, arguments, discrepancies that we have socially, like romantically, something I'm making a joke about. She's like,
Oh,
she's just
why
like,
would you?
or not even
Yeah.
necessarily that, where it's just like, not everything, like she described it, which is, this is death to a comic, that I'm always on, always making jokes about things.
Like you just can't.
Like it's just like not everything needs to be made like a joke out of Dallas. Like just fucking. And I was like, shit, you're right. When she put it that way, like, oh, how annoying. Like you're always on. Like that's disgusting. You can't fucking talk to someone, have like a regular conversation, Dallas,
without trying to make
So I had just done like an over correction of like, oh, I'm being overly comedian, trying to be super comic.
Did that give you some sort of complex in a way?
It's good though.
Yeah,
it's good to have shame.
Okay.
I did have a complex about it. I do. And so I just try to be like more direct or sincere with my intent and things I do and say.
Okay.
It's been rewarding. I like it. I do get terrified that people won't know that I'm safe to come to with jokes about anything and everything.
Right.
So I have to like say to like my coworkers or something like, hey, you can say anything. I don't care. Like there's no line you can cross with me.
Right.
If you have a joke, I want to hear it. You know what I mean? I stole this quote from a podcast, Whiskey Ginger. Have you heard of that?
I've never heard of it.
It's hosted by Andrew Santino. He's a ginger who likes whiskey, and they talk about whiskey sometimes,
Makes
but
sense.
it's mostly just comics and like celebrities.
I feel like the best conversations happen over whiskey.
Absolutely. Would you like some more?
Yes.
Just a little bit?
Please.
Yeah. I'm just doing like little fingers of it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's the best way to drink it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're not getting drunk. We're not like getting like shitty with each other.
No.
Cheers to another one. Thank you.
Okay. So, would you say that?
I'm sorry. Let me the quote. His grandfather used to say, if you don't have anything nice to say, come sit next to me.
Whoa.
You know how most people say, if you don't have anything nice to say,
Then
don't
don't
say
say
anything
it.
at all.
Yeah.
His uncle or his grandpa or whatever was like, if you don't have anything nice to say, come tell me.
Ooh.
Come say it to me. You know what I mean?
I like that.
And it's just like, that's how I fucking live. Are you kidding me? I'm like, I had to deal with cunt face in the drive-thru at work. I need someone to talk about it. I need someone to tell me like, geez, you see that fucking dumb fat cow fucking come through here, extra caramel. This diabetic whore's never going to make it to the
Doesn't everybody talk like that?
No, they don't, because they're fucking chicken shits now. Everyone's fucking like got pussified about it, which is such a like.
I'm sure people think like that.
Of course they do, and it's just like, are you denying your like instinct? Are you denying your real self in there?
So
Which
the
is
first
like
thing
that's where it's like, you know what happens when you take freedom away from something? It dies. You know what happens when you put a bird in a cage? It doesn't live as long.
The first thing that comes to mind is when, I guess a work experience when someone comes in and they treat you poorly.
Yeah.
The first thing you do, at least in your mind, is pick the most obvious.
Superficial.
Yeah. At least in your mind. I can't imagine that no one would be like, no, that's not okay. I don't know.
But like people like will like neuter themselves. People like silence themselves. They really like have to censor themselves. It's like that's such an offensive term. It is, because I'm sitting there and I'm not going, okay, fucking say it, cunt, fuck, fag, fuck, bitch, whore, fucking say it, you bitch. I don't say that when I'm like taking
not even
someone's
under
order.
your breath. I do.
Yeah, sometimes I do, but like, I'm not saying like, oh, fucking, come on, Jonathan, you fucking cunt face, fucking say something interesting already. I'm fucking carrying this conversation, not literally, but you know what I mean? Where like people like don't actually say like the pink elephant in the room, and it's like, that's what's going to get us to the rest of the room. Like, are you kidding me? This is going to be the best thing.
Yeah, let's just jump over this.
Time and a place for it, right?
Yeah.
There's time and a place for it. You can't do it with your grandma and be like, hey, isn't it crazy how we only have like 10 more visits before you die? Like, like you can't say it like that, It's like, hey, Dad, are we going to talk about that bald patch on your head? Like, you can't always say that. I'd be like,
can you stop hiding it, please?
Yeah.
Just own it.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Hey, Mom, isn't it weird? Yeah, just, I don't know.
Oh, man. Where are you going to go with that?
I was going to bounce it off to, like, my sibling, but I didn't really have anything, so I just stopped, I got to fart so bad.
You want to Want to go fart?
Go fart.
Do it.
Go into my bathroom over here.
Actually, you
I
could
kinda
just
take a
you
piss,
could just step
actually.
up right to that mic.
And fart
And
in
do
it.
it
I
for
do it all
Hannah.
the time. Oh, fuck her, dude. I'm not doing shit for her anymore. Now that I live with her, there's no extra energy that or attention she gets because every bit of it is in our household, in our home. I have no extracurricular interest in honoring her.
Oh, poor Hannah.
Maybe again when I don't live with her. I'm only leaving the room because it will no doubt smell.
We are making history. Have you ever done this on a podcast?
No, I don't think so.
You know what you have done on a podcast?
What?
That wasn't recorded?
What?
Puked.
Puked?
Yep.
Actually, I gotta take a piss too.
Oh, do it.
Keep her going. Keep a minute.
Okay. He's pissing with the door open, by the way. Terrible host. And he's farting at the same time. What a man. I'm going to turn up the gain on the microphone so you can hear it in the background. Oh, so good.
Jesus Christ, you're so lucky. I'm gonna make sure I didn't shit myself here.
Could you imagine, dude? I would probably videotape
You
it.
ever fart hard enough where you're like, I think something came out, man. I can't tell. Like your butthole's ruptured?
No, I don't think so.
It's just called shitting
No,
yourself.
maybe on a really bad day after a really bad decision.
Like doing this podcast.
Oh, no. So good. What'd you have for dinner? It smells great.
I had I don't know what you're smelling. It could be so I've had a variety of things today, I'll tell you what.
I can tell.
Hash brown casserole, cinnamon bun,
Is that all from today?
this is all today, don't worry.
You are
red vines,
treating yourself.
Sour Starburst gummies, a score bar. I had a buffalo burger, had some French fries. I had a
Jesus.
peanut butter and jalapeno jelly sandwich. I had a beer, 2 White Claws, actually 4 beers, 2 White Claws. It's my second little shot of whiskey here.
Wait, is this all from today?
All today, Jonathan. I am a fucking brick shit house. I am a machine of my own
I don't
making.
know if that's humanly possible. Well, I guess it is now. You just
Evidently.
proved me wrong.
So all of what you're smelling is just this like concoctive aroma. It is a milieu, if you will.
I'd rather be dead.
Good for you. I could kill you, but it's like, wow, I've inherited all this lovely equipment, boots that don't fit.
What's in this
jacket.
whiskey? So good. All right. What do you want to talk about next?
Dude, I don't know. So you don't really get to have the conversations with me that we might like to because we're far apart. We don't get to meet up very
know.
often. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I was going to say earlier I was talking about like the direction of the podcast or what I would really like to
that's
do.
right.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that before we started recording actually.
Yes. Behind the scenes.
Yeah. I'd really like to. Well, first of all, when I get like a video to record of the podcast, which I have a webcam that is really nice. I have no concept of how to make a video of it. So just little baby steps.
Well, I also do video.
Fucking faggot piece of shit.
All you. I'm over here trying to help.
I know. It's just teasing.
I mean, what you could do is you could just send me the audio and the video, and I just piece it together.
That'd be nice.
So,
yeah.
But I think video would be really, really rad.
Yeah, it's the logical next step, which I've talked about for a year now.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's definitely an important component to the progress. But the solo episodes, I want to make more. I want to spend a little more time curating.
Okay.
Well,
how
show,
so, though?
an episode.
Like, what would that look like?
So like I have like very vague like liner notes for an episode, and I'll kind of stick to some topics or bullet points.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily like to do that because it seems contrived, and I'm trying to convey some sort of like organic thought process and just learn how to put forth a thought, a joke, a stream of consciousness, a connectivity rhythm, something that is always going to be like my style and how I do it. So to have that, to learn how to do it that way would be really nice.
Well, how would you get there though?
Just by doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
So that's why I do it the way where it's stream of consciousness. There's never any rhyme or reason to the solo episodes. They're really just like, oh, I'm ranting, or I'm talking about some things, or maybe I'm getting too high and I'm listening to a Black Sabbath record, or you know what I mean? Where it's just like, oh, it's just different. It's punk rock. It's whatever it wants to be. It's, very expressive. So just things like that. Two of the biggest influences for my podcast are Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast and Ari Shafir's Skeptic Tank, which where the Zoom recorder and the mobile or remote recording kind of idea came from. Is he records his intros like right now? He's just like in Colombia, just like walking around.
Oh, just like on the go.
Yeah, just on the go, just like and like he's like, oh, I'm on a hike. He did
I like that.
He did an episode where he went on a hike with his best friend Joe Rogan. You may have heard of him. Where they he hosted Fear Factor back in the day.
One of my favorite shows.
It's a great show. It's on Hulu right now. Almost finished it with it too. And they just went on a hike and just talked. And it was just like, I want that. I'm doing this in my hotel. I'm doing this in my hotel room because I don't have to have a fucking laptop and a fucking studio and a like goddamn mixer and all this shit with it. Obviously we have mic arms. Yeah, so it's just so cool. I recorded a podcast. This sucks. I recorded a podcast on Figueroa Mountain with Kylie.
And what happened?
The wrong inputs. I had the exterior mic inputs chosen instead of the.
That isn't happening now, is it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool.
Because.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, absolutely. Apparently, according to Ari Shafir, that happens to him all the time. Where he isn't pressing record or something, and he's like, "Fuck, I just wasted like a good hour and a half."
What did you do after that, though?
Just got frustrated. I had no idea that there was no sound until I played it back, and I went to send it to you, and I went.
There's nothing there.
Can you do anything? I have no idea.
There was nothing in there.
Nothing
at all.
Nothing.
No.
So stupid. So fucking retarded. It was such a nice episode.
I bet that episode would have been great.
It was one of the best things I've thought I've recorded in my life.
Dude.
It was one of the like most purest conversations. It was what I want out of a remote podcast. And I fucked it up because I'm fucking stupid. So stupid.
Mistakes happen. Look at me.
Well, yeah, look at me. Actually, my mom said I was a surprise.
Oh. I see that. I see the
very
flip.
Surprising. Yeah. She's like, you were all surprises. Surprise. I
had no idea.
I thought I was just letting your dad nut inside me. Do you ever think about that? Like you're a walking cream pie.
Oh, dude, I try not to.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Don't think about like the people, but do you ever think about like?
Well, my parents know exactly where it was conceived.
That's interesting.
That's very weird.
Where? Can we go there right now?
It was my mom's grandma's bathroom floor.
God, you're literally a pube.
Yep.
Like where people like have to like vacuum pubes up from like flipping their underpants off too much to like pee. Like that's where you were conceived.
It feels like that though.
You feel like
it was just such a like no
throwaway.
I don't know, maybe. But
yeah, not privy.
Could you imagine knowing where you were conceived? Do you know?
I don't think I do.
Okay.
I don't think I know where. I know that when my mom's water broke, my parents were having sex.
What?
Yeah. My dad must have thought he was like king shit. He's like, made her squirt. Hell yeah. Way before that was a thing. Turns out, no, Dad, I'm just on the way out.
Whoa. That's fucking wild.
It's fucking wild. Kind of weird. Oh, also, did you know my mom's a stripper?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, I mean,
it's just
I love strippers now, so
they have an important role.
Important role. I think I'm doing my mom. I'm honoring her by enjoying strippers when they're around. It's what mom would have wanted. Here's a fiver.
What could you imagine?
Put it in your ass.
Oh,
the fiver. Ooh. Not my mom's ass.
Okay, all right. I'm glad we cleared that up because that's where
sorry,
I was going.
Oedipus. Maybe next time.
Ooh. Well, this next question, feel free to cut out,
deflect
from the podcast. But you told me that you were thinking about moving back to this area.
I think I said that in one of the Kill Bill commentaries.
Did you want to elaborate on that, or did you already speak on it?
God, you know,
What are you feeling about it?
I think I was feeling homesick, and I got a really nice couple visits up here.
Yeah.
And I went, oh man, all my like friends, connections, and like comfortability is around here. I would really love to be around my family and like kind of like live and grow up around them and see how those relationships change and blossom in whichever direction. You know, I want to hang out with my cousin Tristan and see my grandma and see my nieces grow up and that. But then at the same time, I love where I live now and I love the area more than I thought I did. I'm like really learning to appreciate it. And I go, how fucking chicken shit is it of me to be like, oh, I'm just going to go move somewhere for like, you know, 9 months and then that's it. Go back home now. It's just like the fucking whole pandemic has prevented any of that growth from happening from moving there and really embracing the area. And I really like the kind of friendships and connections I'm already making over there. Those are really important to me. And I think there's just more to be found.
Okay.
I would hate to kind of neuter that or stop it. So,
I mean, have you made a decision yet?
no, it's really, it's really just going to happen this summer. Whether I feel that's what it's looking like. I'm just probably going to have to.
You feel good about it?
Either way, yeah. I mean, honestly, like nothing's going to stop me from pursuing what I want to do in my life. So it'll just be either a setback or a change of environment to pursue that.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what you said. It doesn't really matter where you are, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to stop you.
Exactly.
So screw it.
There is, so some of my really close friends who I record the Kill Bill commentary with, like Garrett, Dane, and Daniel, they live in San Diego. I want to be near them because they're good friends of mine, and I don't necessarily have friends like that just anywhere. And I'm in a really cool place with them. I have a really great coworker who's a great friend of mine already, you know, in the short time we've known each other. And I have not made a new friend since the pandemic. So I've like made a new friend. It's really fucking cool to like make. When's the last time you had a new friend that you were like, I'm going to go hang out with so-and-so?
Dude, seriously, before the pandemic. And it was probably at work.
It's so hard. It's so, you know what I mean? Where it's like, fuck, I fucking didn't even realize I'm not making friends. I'm feeling suffocated by the world instead of, you know, enriched or anything like that. That really hurts. That really sucks.
So do you feel like when you do move away, it is going to hurt when you leave those friendships? Well,
it always does. I hate that I'm here visiting and I don't get to see every single one of my friends.
Yeah.
That
and there's also the aspect of sometimes you make friends and you know for a fact that when you leave that area, there's a good chance that
might never see them again.
Yeah.
Might never have that connection again.
Yeah. And I've had that happen before, and sometimes I go back on the memories and the thoughts, and it's just like, it is very sad.
It's happened to me a lot.
Yeah. Because you've moved around a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
You know, I went to 2 elementary schools, 2 junior highs, 6 high schools.
Yeah.
I fucking...
Dude, especially during those age gaps, too.
So it's not a good time. Not a good time.
No.
Really
weird.
important developmental years that I needed to
at least
have structure.
Yeah. I've had friends throughout that period that were friends throughout that whole period. I could not imagine if I'd gotten close to someone and then boom, it was gone.
Mm-hmm. It's a
very big deal.
It's given me a very interesting relationship with loss.
Okay.
I anticipate losing everything and everyone constantly. I have very...
And does that go for anybody?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
I treat every time I see someone like the last time I see them. Mm-hmm. Like mentally I go, I need to embrace them. I need to hug them. I need to convey something that is on my mind about our relationship or friendship in some form or another. Because this may be the last time I see them. That happened with a lot of friends. It happened, that kind of mentality was set forth after my brother-in-law was murdered.
Yeah, just like that too.
And you know what? My uncle, who I saw at my brother-in-law's funeral, is now dead. Died last year during the height of COVID. Not necessarily COVID related, but kind of COVID related. They probably counted it as a COVID death. Mm-hmm. So there's that.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh, weird. I didn't see John ever again. And then at his funeral was the last time I saw someone else. Mm-hmm. And now the next time I see a group of people, it's going to be the last time I see one of them. It's very interesting. So I have this like constant expectation of losing someone or something, or just having finite, like just learning to let things go.
Yeah.
Whether it's inanimate or otherwise. Mm-hmm. Kind of weird.
No, I like it though. That's good.
It's heartbreaking. I love the intense feeling and passion that life gives you in those moments. It's really important. When you move to Oregon, I might never see you again. This might be the last time I see you.
I feel like that won't happen though.
Me neither. I definitely,
no.
oddly enough, even though we're talking about like this right in the middle of it, I don't feel like this is the last time I'm
I don't
ever
think
going to
so
see
either.
you. But for example,
I feel like I would actually just make a trip to do another podcast.
That'd be cool. I
so
would
down.
absolutely like honor that commitment and I'd, do the same.
I'm so down.
Yeah. Yeah. So those kind of things are important to me to an extent where I can appreciate them. I not to ramble on anymore.
No,
but
I like it.
Like I was saying, like I do enjoy the romanticism of loss as well.
Elaborate on that.
It makes you appreciate things a lot. You know what I mean? My favorite pair of shoes recently have just gone to shit.
Oh,
I'll never get the great skateboarding experiences that I had in those, and so much that it connected
how long did you have
to.
them?
A year. I just got them at the beginning of the pandemic, and now they're like dog shit. I think they're in the car or something.
It
somewhere.
doesn't take long, does it?
Doesn't take long.
Because you skateboard in them.
Skate shoes will.
Yeah. Well,
these
they're meant.
lasted
they're
longer.
meant for that,
they're better
though.
than that. But just this is a little thing, just to bring us back to baseline, not to be so heavy and irritate people's feelings.
Oh boy,
gross.
Could you imagine?
I know it's so funny how often this podcast bounces from like sheer chaotic toxicity to like genuine human connection.
That's another thing I appreciate about these podcasts is because you have that mix. You know, I think that's cool.
what life is, though.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about the fact that like one day you're gonna find out one of your loved ones is dead, but you're gonna be shitting on the toilet when you read that?
I think about that very often.
All the time. Where I'm like, damn, I can't believe I found out grandma died right after I got a blowjob, Or you know what I mean? Yeah. Can you imagine just like that period between finishing on your chest when you're just like jacking it by yourself, looking at your phone before you go get the towel and you go, oh shit, the president died? Or you know what I mean? Where it's just anything. Yeah. You're like, whew.
It's just going to make it that much
got
more memorable.
Coming, Could you imagine fucking just having a pre-existing erection, finding out like mom died or something?
Oh, okay. Now you're instilling fear into me.
That's terrifying, isn't it?
Because I've never been in that situation. Have you?
No, but I think about it all the time. Every time I'm like, whew, I'm gonna be on this toilet for a while. I hope no one dies, so don't have to find out this way. I was like, ooh. So I go so far as like where sometimes I get scared and I won't bring my phone into the bathroom, even though that's like the number one place to just get lost on it.
Yeah.
And just give yourself hemorrhoids.
I do that too.
Down scrolling. It's true, dude. Why is my asshole puffy and feel like a fun flower down there after Instagram?
Have you tried different toilet paper? Maybe even wet wipes.
You know what? The wet wipes are great because you got to wipe the cum off yourself. So you do have to have wet wipes in that house.
I was not expecting that.
They're really good for that, dude. You got to check it out. But me and Kylie were just at Madonna Inn. The bidet in our bathroom was amazing.
I've never tried one.
It's amazing. I totally get why people are gay. You just get like, can you imagine like some dude pissing in your ass? Kind of sounds gnarly. But I just let a toilet hot
do the
water
same thing,
piss in my asshole, cleaned it. I fucking floated onto the bed.
Do you get any arousal from it?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Oddly enough, no.
Okay.
I think because I know it's like cleaning shit out of my
It's a
out of my
little bit of a
fart
turn off.
hole.
Yeah.
Not arousing.
Yeah.
Not interesting. At the same time, if someone was working my shaft and then put their middle finger with the
Different story.
different story, I'm like, yeah, that's
Same
right.
ending.
Yeah, same ending. Same ending. Grab the toilet paper. Got to dry this off. You moving with your lady up there?
Yeah.
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 You live with her now?
Mhm.
What's that like?
We live with her grandma and her parents and her brother. So it's kind of it's a full house.
It's a full house for
Yeah.
sure.
So like
Are
I've
you-
never had anyone over there. Really not much space. So I'm really looking forward to
Is that where
having
that-
my own space again.
Is that where that cul-de-sac is?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were there that one time.
I stopped by the front. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Not to
Really?
like, fucking shout out where you live or anything.
no, that's fine.
Um,
You might as well just tell the address on the podcast.
Yeah, it's it's off
I'd be surprised
off
if-
Juniper Street.
He's close.
Well, my friend Sean Wood used to live right by there. I wonder if Sean listens. I don't know if he does, but he's a great guy. I would have loved to have him on the podcast at some point.
Why haven't you? Out of contact.
He doesn't live around here.
Oh,
Or I don't
okay.
live around him now, rather.
Okay.
But he's a cool guy.
How would you feel about living in Napomo?
I would die in Napomo if I had
See,
my way. I would
really?
die. I would,
I was about to take that in a negative way.
no, I would
Oh, I feel like
lay
you-
myself to rest in the hills of Napomo if I had my
like
way.
the last conversation we had, you were talking about if you could, you would retire in Napomo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to retire on a ranch in Napomo with me, myself, and I,
that
and
is interesting.
whoever has survived life with me.
How long did you live in Napomo during your moving period?
Probably I lived on the Napomo Mesa.
Yeah.
From age probably 3 or 4, and I moved out of Napomo when I was 12. So all of my developmental years essentially were Napomo spent. All of like my friends that I still know in San Diego now that I go hang out with, grew up with in Napomo.
Okay.
Like everything to the music I like, to the skateboarding, to stand-up comedy, everything is planted in Napomo.
Okay. Well, my question is,
Yeah.
do you want to live your whole life
No,
there, or but maybe ending up there at some point?
that would be great.
Okay.
I'd love to end up there.
I feel the same way.
Even, you know what? That's just how I feel now.
Uh-huh.
Even if I got to live there a little while, fall out of love with it, and expand on life and really grow and find out what else is out there for me, that would be great.
Okay.
There is a part of me that wants to never be famous, never follow my dreams, never do anything, and just live in Napomo and just do something that is irrevocably minute.
Oh, that is my biggest fear.
There's two sides of me where I'm like, I just want to live in a small town, know everyone's name, never have to leave or do anything outside of it, never be discomforted. And then I drive through LA and I go, I have to know what chaos is happening right now. I'm like addicted to it. The past 3 times I drove through LA, I went, yuck, I never want to see this again. Let's move out of California. This is disgusting. We got fucking hobos. All the Hollywood elites are pedophiles. I got to get out of here. This is dumb. You're gay. Let's leave. And the last time I drove through on the way up here, I was like, oh my God, I need to go live in an apartment above like an abandoned theater and watch like junkies fight each other to death in the alley, and then go to my favorite bar where old punk rockers fucking, linger, and then go to like Amoeba Records and like fucking find some toxic ex-girlfriend there or something. Like everything where I'm just like, I just need to fucking, I need to have it all. It needs to happen. It needs to attack me. I need to be overwhelmed with it.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I guess that's what I'm expecting the most out of moving is just new experiences. Because
Yeah.
that's what I had last time I was there. I'm just craving it,
I don't know anything about your girlfriend, fiance.
I know.
What is?
Not a lot of people do.
I don't even know her name.
Allie.
I knew that, but I
I know
didn't
Kylie's met her.
I know that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know anything about her. Do you care to talk about her? I would. I don't want to.
No, you can ask whatever you want.
Okay,
I'm not used to people even asking. That's the thing.
Yeah, like what's that relationship like? How does that fulfill you? What is your favorite thing about that?
Let me tell you, it feels so good to actually be with someone where I'm sure you've been in relationships where you find yourself just like, oh, what are they doing? Like, I hope they're being faithful or they're being smart, you know?
Yeah.
It just feels like it's just being with someone extremely dependable.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
And that they support you. And that's another thing that I'm really glad is because I've never actually had someone support me in the way that she has. Because my life, especially the last couple months, has just been, if I'm not at work 40 hours a week, then I am somewhere else working on music.
Yeah.
I'm hardly ever home. And when I am home, I am working on stuff.
Yeah. I love that hustle.
Yeah.
It's really important.
But she understands that and she knows why I'm doing it. So
it's really good.
I really appreciate that.
Can't find that around the corner.
No. The first time I actually noticed her was at Nepoma High School. Mm-hmm. She went there for maybe a year or two and then moved to Oregon and was homeschooled, I think.
Oh, so she's like probably more normal than she should be.
Yeah. You know what's even funny?
What?
At the time when I had taken notice of Allie, I was walking around Nepoma High School with Clara. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's funny how that happens.
Yeah.
Where like the future seeds are planted.
Yeah.
It's interesting, huh?
I remember, I think Clara had just like shaved her head at the time. Mm-hmm. And Allie was walking by and Allie had buzz cut too. And Clara was like,
son of a bitch.
Oh, like she's just copying me or something. And I was just
something Clara would say.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I don't care.
It's like, no.
Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
I don't think so.
Anyway, so then after that, I never saw Allie again.
Yeah.
We reconnected. What happened to her? And turns out she moved. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But then we reconnected because I guess Claire and Allie started talking again towards the end of things. So, and then that went all the shit.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
I was still friends with Allie, and that kind of blossomed into something.
That's honestly
but years later.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Before I met Clara, I had started talking to Kylie. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of like had to like talk to Kylie about my relationships from therein until I met Clara.
Yeah.
Or until I had ended things with, she ended things with me.
Yeah.
And then eventually having to meet Kylie after. Really weird.
But like just these
funny
the roots
like
starting way before the initial.
Yeah. It's
so weird.
Life, but like
life is like that though.
Life is so like that where it's like the people I'm meeting now in San Diego and the people you're gonna meet in Oregon, it's gonna re-envelope and you're gonna it's gonna circle back to something you didn't know was gonna be circled back to.
That's seriously the best part about living.
Well, like my friendship with you.
Yeah.
Like how interesting is that too?
It's fucking crazy. When I think about it, it's really crazy.
It's really crazy.
You would have never guessed.
But it's such a... I'm also so used to life being crazy that I'm like, why would it not happen that way?
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah. Like,
I love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be having this conversation with you.
Even moving back from when I lived in Oregon. Back in 2018.
When did you? Because
so I moved.
Kylie was saying,
yeah,
she was like, he lived in Oregon when he started doing your podcast, and I was like, no,
I
didn't think so.
It was before.
That's what I thought.
It was before.
The timeline was close.
So it was around 2018, the beginning of it.
Which part?
What do you mean?
Of Oregon did you live?
Oh, a town called Albany, which was 30 minutes from Salem. So
Gotcha.
I already know
Cool.
what I'm getting into.
Okay. Familiar with the area.
Anyway, long story short, I got fired from my job because I had too much whiskey.
Oh, well, that's what we're doing now.
I was working at a Goodwill, right? And when you start a
They're
job,
big on being sober there. They hire ex-narcotic.
Yeah, it's great.
They hire directly from AA and NA. Did you know that?
No.
They have like a huge program where they hire like old junkies and old alcoholics.
What?
Yeah.
I know
They hire them first. If
I
you're a
know
normal person, you go into Goodwill, they're like, it doesn't say you have any substance abuse issues. We'll be in touch.
they made it known that the Goodwills up north were very different from the ones down here.
Elaborate.
So it's almost like a different company owned that location. Like it was by region, right?
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with
Understandable.
the southern, like California, nothing to do with it. Like you would never even know what was going on down here, right?
Okay.
Super weird.
Okay.
The stores were a lot nicer. It didn't really look like a Goodwill. They kept it up, so it was kind of like a bougie Goodwill.
Weird.
Anyway, so
I'm struggling to picture it.
yeah, it's really weird. You'd have to visit one.
Send me pics.
I want to go back, right? Fuck this place. Anyway, when I got hired, I guess there's a 90-day probational period where you can't really fuck up, right? I was towards the tail end. I was towards the tail end of that probational period,
Yeah.
and Allie had worked at the Albany location, and I had worked at the Corvallis location. It was like only 20 minutes apart, but
Yeah.
anyway, one of the coworkers from the Albany location was like, "Hey, like we should totally get together at your place and just party and have a good time, drink a little bit of whiskey." Great. I guess a coworker from the Albany location had overheard that. Everyone that night got pretty plastered.
Yeah.
So the majority of us called out because I really didn't want to go to work drunk.
I've never called out for something like that.
I woke up and I was like, I cannot drive.
I have no idea what that's like. To me, that's some beta shit. Are you kidding me? I went to, dude, Super Bowl Sunday. I was drunk at a party. My friend texted me, said, "Hey, can you come in and cover at 4 a.m. opening?" It was like 10, 11 p.m. I was like, fuck yeah, bring on the blonde espresso.
Dude.
Went to bed at 1 or 2, woke up at 3:30, drove there drunk, parked in front of the store before it opened, fell asleep. My manager rolled up blasting Joy Division, woke me up, and I went, oh, fuck, I'm at work. This was not a dream. This is a nightmare. I went and worked and had the best shift of my life, still drunk, got compliments from a crew of employees that don't necessarily get along with me or like me all the time. Believe that.
But you had a great shift.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Dude.
Beta.
I wish
shit,
my story
Jonathan.
was as great as that.
It's not the same story. You can't compare
No,
it.
it's
Comparison
not.
is
No,
the
you're
thief
right.
of joy. You know that. I don't need to.
Anyway.
They overheard. You called out.
So, yeah, when everyone called out, that one employee that overheard the situation.
This same fucking shit happened to me at Surf Connection.
Are you serious?
Yeah, fuck them. I'll tell that story.
Okay.
After. I don't need to
wanna
interrupt
hear
your
this.
story
No,
with my
that's
story.
fine.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so I guess that coworker rats everyone out.
Of course,
but
always
I was
that
the only
time.
one on the probational period.
Oh, shit.
So I go into work and they're like, "Hey, you should come into the office." I'm like, "Great, fuck me." Right?
You know what's coming.
Yeah. And the worst part is they don't even ask me what happened, right? Like, at least an employer should be like, "Hey, so what's going on? You called out yesterday and I heard this, blah, blah, blah." No, they didn't care. All they said was, "Hand in your keys." And I was like, "Okay, well, then what?" I laughed at them too. I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, because how ridiculous is that?
I thought they were joking. I'm like, "Are you serious? This is a joke, right?" Anyway, and then the manager's like, "You'll find out in about a week time if you still have a job or not." I'm like, "Great."
That's a not
Yeah. And I just went home. I'm like, "Okay, fuck."
A bunch of cunts.
Yeah. Well, turns out I didn't have a job.
Oh.
Yeah, no. So they fired me a week later, and I was like, I have no idea if I should be applying for a job.
Yeah. You're like, what am I doing? I'm just twiddling my
Exactly.
thumbs till the
So,
fucking call comes.
I
that don't have a
couldn't
job.
I couldn't find a job
Yeah.
in time to make rent.
Yeah.
Um,
Was
Allie had quit the job too. She's like,
Oh,
"Well,
okay.
fuck this place. Like, why would I want to work for them?"
Yeah. That's cunty.
So I mean, it kind of fucked us in a way. Just all the events that had transpired, and
shit happens.
yeah, we had to move back. So shit happens, and
Yeah. Now you're moving back up there.
yeah. But like between the time we moved back and now, I mean, there's so much that has happened that it's just been, I would not change it. You know, like meeting up with you to do the podcast, because right when I moved back, it was when you started the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah. Interesting.
When I had moved back, I had a job opportunity to go to Chicago to do a record.
I remember that.
So it's just like, heck yeah.
vividly.
Like I would have never...
I think about that constantly.
Yeah. So it's just... And so many other connections and people that I've met and so many relationships that have started. And
yeah.
I don't know. I cannot look back on the past and be like, I'm pissed about it.
Fuck that shit.
Exactly. It's like, no, I'm glad that happened.
No, not at all. It's there's no reason to bemoan it.
No.
It's been a really good thing.
Yeah. So I'm stoked. I'm not one of those kind of people that believe like everything happens for a reason. I don't believe that.
It's kind of silly
But-
because sometimes shit just happens.
Yeah, the only thing I can say is I'm glad it happened the way it happened.
Yeah.
And I'm content.
It's really
100% content.
it's really nice to hear from someone
Yeah.
that they can go through something
Yeah.
and be okay with it.
Yeah, and
How valuable is that? You know,
I know,
in people.
and I think the biggest thing for me is because I've known that I wanted to do, audio production since I graduated high school, and I've kept pursuing that no matter
So
what.
you knew you were a nerd a long time ago.
Dude, seriously, I'm gonna fucking own that shit too.
That's so cool though. But I knew I was like the anti-hero
Yeah.
of things too. Sometimes those roles just reveal themselves to you way early
I almost feel
on.
the same way too, because there were so many people that told me along the way when I realized like, hey, I want to do this no matter what it takes. I've had so many people say like, you're not going to get anywhere from that. I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Those people aren't getting anywhere with what they're doing, which is being negative fuckbags.
Exactly. I'm like, if I die poor but still get to do this, I don't care.
Seriously. Also, it's just like, why would I stop because Joe Fuckface said I wasn't going to get anywhere with
Joe
it?
Fuckface.
Yeah, seriously.
But I'm happy. I think that's what I'm getting at. Is I'm pretty happy.
Get it. It's really good to hear. I'm happy you're happy.
Thank
Makes
you.
me feel really good because there is a certain obscurity and abstractness to the relationship you and I have in terms of like, oh, sometimes I just text this guy and he sends me a better sounding podcast episode.
And sometimes that's the most of our interactions. Right?
Sometimes it's really impersonal, and I go, hey, I try to kind of like annotate the emails with something.
Yeah.
To be like,
And
hey,
I'm
still a person.
I do
and
realize
also,
that too,
like,
and I really appreciate it.
good because every once in a while I can't, and I'm just like, I just need this episode.
No, that's fine.
And I need you to send it to me because I fucked up and
Yeah.
I didn't get or some version of it.
Yeah, and it's just sometimes I like overlook things too because it's just I'm so fucking busy. Like,
Which I respect, and I know that.
but I would hate it.
I don't assume my position on your agenda.
Yeah, but from my point of view is I would hate it if you had posted an episode without me. Not saying that like I own the podcast or anything, but like just to know that like we didn't collaborate on that. Like that would fucking suck.
Well, and it's crossed my mind where I was like, I don't think I could just mix this myself and have to post it because Jonathan isn't available. Like he's available. I can reach out to him. It's worth the extra day it might take if he has work, because I know you have a whole life outside of doing my podcast, which I respect.
Yeah, but it's one thing I look forward to though.
That's good.
So
I'm happy
I don't
to
think
hear
you have to fear about that.
Does Allie have any concept of what you do for me or who I am or anything?
No. Well, no, she knows that.
I was curious about that myself.
Because I have so much work lumped into one. She's just like, oh, you're just doing your audio work.
Yeah.
Right. That's pretty much the extent of it. Because like I don't try to be like, hey, check out this mix. Right.
Oh, okay,
She's doing her own shit. Right.
I figure. What does she like to do for fun?
She really likes art. She loves drawing.
God bless her heart. It's fucking horrible.
I know. Dude,
to
I could not
learn
imagine
how to draw. It's an unforgiving medium.
But other than that, she loves music. I don't know. I feel guilty when every time I'm like, hey, you should listen to what I'm working on. I don't know. I just feel like it's very personal.
like
I don't know.
like
I feel like I don't want to
pushing on
bother
it?
you with it. Like, hey, please tell me this is good. You know? God, I fucking hate that.
That's funny.
Oh, like
She wouldn't. She's never been like, what are you working on right now? You'd be like, oh, it's Dallas Bronson's podcast.
No, she's asked, but it's never been during the podcast.
Interesting.
But I think
if you were to say, oh, I'm working on Dallas's podcast, she wouldn't have any idea what you're doing. She'd be like, who the fuck
she
is
probably wouldn't be like, what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'd be like, yeah, I know what you're doing.
So we
It's
keep our creative things almost separately.
Do you guys also sleep in separate beds?
No. Yeah. So good.
Creative genitals.
I don't know, because
Separate
she doesn't like when I look at the drawing she's working on.
I do not.
You know
if
what I
you
mean?
watch me drawing, I get mad.
Right.
I
So it's
love
just like
to draw.
every time she's drawing, like,
I
hey,
did.
like, do you want me to? I can like go work in the other room.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you need your space, and I feel like that's very important for creative work.
It is. Well, Chris and Allie have told me both individually how their process works. So,
Okay.
that's the same thing. Well, they will give themselves space.
See, yeah,
and
yeah.
I know
yeah.
yeah.
I feel like it's super important.
It is.
Sometimes when like I'm working, I'm like, hey, like I don't care if you're in here. She's like, I know, but like I think you should.
Oddly enough, the last episode I was listening to create the notes for
Mm-hmm.
and Kylie kept like coming up to me, and I was like taking my headphones off, and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, what?
And she's like,
And she's like, oh well, and I'm like, okay, I'll do that when I'm done with the pod. Like, I was like, I thought we had this talk. Like, this is the one thing where you leave me the fuck alone while I do it. Like, right? And I was like, I didn't say that.
right.
But I'm like, are you kidding? This is the only time of my entire day
that you're
where I
putting
just need
towards
you
something.
to
Yeah.
be 10 feet back. Just let me do this. I'm just like, you told me if I'm doing this, you'll respect me doing it. And it was just like, it's the only time it's ever happened.
I totally get
It was
that.
the one time.
Yeah.
And I was like, what, dude? I'm so close to putting it up. Just give me fucking 20 minutes. Just walk away. I swear. But that's also what I love about her.
I appreciate the space though.
I appreciate the
And
space too.
I think she like we didn't even have to have a conversation about it. You know.
Well, I think because I'm very like aware of how I might make her feel, and that's why I am taking my headphones off and listening. Like, what are you saying?
Right.
Like, what do you have? You know, I may be a little annoyed, but I know
I do the
I know
same-
that
I do the same
sometimes
thing,
sometimes
though.
you need that connection with your partner.
Oh, I have a really good topic. I have to pee first.
Me
though.
too.
Oh.
You first. Go ahead. Yeah. Thank God. Jesus. I've been holding this piss for like the past 10 minutes. Really excited to tell the Surf Connection story. Not to disparage a small local business in Lompoc, because I love Lompoc and small local businesses, of course. But this is just my personal experience. It does not reflect the business practices of the current owners or employees. It's just what I went through. So once we get there, we'll get there. Well, when we come to that bridge, we'll cross it. Fucking bleed that lizard, J-boy. J-Lo. Have you ever... is there anything you don't like about my podcast?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It is a good question. I can't wait for you to answer it. Or
I actually have a really good answer.
okay, hold that piss. Me next, okay? He said he has a good answer if you didn't hear him. So I'm a little worried about that. I've had this like collection of candy beside me. I've been trying not to eat it, but this is the perfect time for it. So I got a couple of Starburst gummies in me. Oh my God. I gotta fucking piss so bad. Me next, tag team. Let's kiss dicks on the way.
Cross the stream.
Don't cross the streams. Can I approach the bench, Your Honor?
Right. How do you turn on the sink?
You stroke it like a man. What do you mean?
It's not working.
You washing your hands?
Yeah.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
It's all yours.
Yeah. Go for it. Think of that answer.
Have you asked me that before?
That's really trivial of me to...
Okay, I have a good answer. The whole thing.
Jesus.
Jesus has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, that's all Satan coming out the back. Anyways, Jesus. Sometimes my let me rephrase that. I'm drunk. Sometimes my farts are so hot, I think I shit myself. That's happened again. Fuck. What were we gonna talk about before you walked away? Though?
Yeah. So I was just gonna say, I have a really hard time balancing my time. In terms of,
will moving improve that? Is that something you have to improve no matter where you are?
I think maybe at first, but I don't think initially, yes.
Because you're going to be like, can't do it. I'm in the middle of making a home.
Well, I mean, the past couple months is a really great example. I think Allie understands that I'm busy because I'm trying to fit everything in before I move, right? Because I had started projects before that I knew that I had a set date, right? So now I'm just cramming everything in. I'm currently working on 3 different records, right? And working a full-time job, right? But only until today. I actually I submitted an updated availability sheet for my job, so I'm cutting back my hours.
It. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that a great feeling? You go,
so good.
Sorry, you're gonna hate me.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but I just feel like I'm almost married to my work. You know, if I didn't have any significant other, you know, I would still be just as busy, and I feel like that is almost a really big problem.
Do you think it grounds you though to have one? Keeps you?
I think it does. I think it keeps me a little healthier because if I didn't have that, I'd probably just
look
be.
At you. You're a handsome young man. Like
Thank
you
you.
wouldn't. Do you think you'd be like dressing as nice as you do if you didn't have someone that worried about you fucking them?
Right.
You know.
I think yesterday was a great example. Even though the night before I had a little too much Japanese whiskey, I felt like
I've never had any Japanese whiskey. It's a goal of mine. Can't
dude,
wait.
It's pretty great.
Go ahead.
But besides the fact that I was feeling like shit most of the day, it really hits me when a couple times, not even a couple times, but maybe once a month, Allie will be like, "Hey, you want to hang out with me this weekend?" Fuck, dude. It makes me feel so bad.
It's like, hey, you know, the person.
Yeah. Could you imagine that?
Your life with, I guess.
Oh, it gets to me.
It does sometimes.
And sometimes when she doesn't say anything, like it's so easy for me to be like, just center focused on what I'm doing, and so it's something I definitely have to work on. I don't know if you've ever.
You're never like mixing something, and she'll just walk by in like a thong and nothing else, and you're like,
no,
oh,
dude,
whoops,
no. If she walks by with a thong, I'm just like, oh, I'm stopping what the fuck I'm doing.
We'll pause.
Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and press the
Beach
space
Boys,
bar.
Yeah. She'll fucking fly that flag.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It doesn't take much to distract me. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah. I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could be completely focused.
Yeah.
For about a moment.
For a moment. But yesterday was a good day. I decided not to work on anything. I decided not to go anywhere go to anywhere.
It's healthy.
And we just we watched movies all day yesterday.
And then
I haven't done that.
And then I called you and interrupted the movie.
I was like God damn it.
Fucking. You're like, I told you, Dallas, not today. What are you doing? I was like, let me just give him a call. I won't be interrupting anything.
But I haven't done that.
I forget you have a life outside of me.
I forget that I have a life too.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But I did that yesterday, and it was like, wow, this is very different from what I'm used to. Because sometimes I have this thought where if I'm sitting down and just watching a movie, that thought gives me anxiety.
Okay, and you're like, I can't enjoy this movie because the thought is ruining the movie.
That, and it's just like, I could be doing something productive. And it's like, well, you have to take a step back and think, well, this is productive towards, I guess, the relationship, right? I mean,
yeah, right. That's true. But do you only think that when you're doing something with your lady?
No. So what happens is when I do it, I'm like, this is what I'm missing out on. Like, why have I been so selfish?
Oh, that's so funny.
You know?
Sometimes I'll be doing something and I'll be like, I could be doing something productive, creative. What am I doing? And then obviously there's no such thing because I literally balance everything that I do creatively with having a relationship with Kylie. So
Is this
I'm
the
literally just being an asshole.
Is this the longest relationship you've been in?
Oh, so far, yeah.
So far?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I've told Kylie this. I've told a couple people this. If this relationship were to end, I don't want to do this again.
That's how I felt.
I don't
too.
want to do another relationship. I don't want to be interested. If I was telling Kylie this the other day, we were talking about like our favorite things about our relationship and stuff, and she was talking about like, she'll be like, "Oh, do you think so and so's hot?" And I'll be like, "Nah, she's fucking weird. I don't like her. Dumb teeth. Women are gay. I hate it. Fucking awful. No way." You know what I mean? She's like, "I feel like you've just been like, you just like clam up and you like don't have like an opinion of women." And I was just like, "Well, yeah, like fuck them." And I was telling her, I was like, if I could have like flicked a switch when I was like 13 and been asexual, I would totally love to do that. And she was like, "Well, but then you would have never." And then they do that thing. We're like, "But then you would have never met me, and then we would have never, been in love." And I'm just like, "That's not what I fucking meant."
That's not the point, right?
But it's about you now, I guess. Where it's just like this is about my journey, but now it's all about you. Yeah, yeah. It's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Was that question directed at you and not me? I had no idea." So. Like,
yeah.
if things between her and I were to end, I just would love to just like go get neutered, go get sexually like if I could never worry about sex again or worried about like the whole female, like, dude, you know how annoying it is when I'm just like trying to enjoy a day with like my girlfriend and some hottie walks by and I'm like, can you fucking not? I'm in love.
How dare
I'm
you?
being in love over here, whore. You know what the worst part is? Like when I'm like shopping for like an anniversary, for Christmas, for Valentine's Day, I'm out and about, I'm looking for things. That's when all of like the most attractive women are around. And I'm like, can you not?
What's with that?
What is that? It's like the universe is like saying like, "Hey, are you really in love? Look at this dumb dime piece walking by. Look, her dress is see-through. You had no idea until today that those existed." And I'm like, "Fuck off!" Like,
hey, are you guys big on Valentine's Day?
Not really.
No?
Like it's been kind of like reduced because our anniversary is so close to Valentine's Day. It's the anniversary that's takes precedent.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we're out doing this.
Okay.
Valentine's Day was really chill. She like took like the time to make dinner, and we had like a nice little candlelit dinner outside on our balcony with a little space heater. It was beautiful. It was the nicest, one of the most romantic things ever. And I was like, when we first started dating, I was a very romantic person. But I've just slowly become like a fucking dumb Neanderthal, like basic man, like traditional, like, like I'm not like romantic or sensual anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm seriously just like devolving. You know how like you look at the chart of man where it starts at monkey and then it ends at like an upright walking human. I'm just behind upright walking human now. I'm just like I'm just hunchback, like fuck,
so close.
Yeah, I'm like almost there. Sometimes I'm like, is that a rose? I wonder what it look like between your ass cheeks. It's like not quite romantic, but it's almost there.
Has that ever been a problem?
What do you mean?
Where you have
dude, you got to know. I started as like a very romantic, sensual, creative.
Well, yeah. Well, then how does that
endearing person?
Well, what happens
now
after
I'm
that?
Like, I need to choke you when you talk, woman.
Yeah.
You need to fuck. Like just being dumb.
Is that ever brought up? Like, hey, what happened?
Yeah. Well, she was like, "Well, you used to be so sweet. You used to be so romantic," and I was just like, I ran out of ideas. I don't know what you want. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I think part of it's like my hormones have settled. They're not like all over the place. Like little bit of estrogen today, a lot of bit of testosterone tomorrow. Like it's just like, oh, you're a man now. We're relaxed now. And then I'm like, okay, cool. I don't have to do anything extra.
Right.
So like those like teenage hormones, those wild, infatuated.
That shit's crazy, huh?
Dude,
Goddamn.
If I could like go back in time and then like talk to 17-year-old me, I'd be like, oh my God, there's so much cum. What are you doing? Stop. Oh my God. I'm just like, fuck, no. How is your boner that hard? You jacked off 4 times today. What are you doing?
Jesus.
I'm just like,
4
stop.
times.
4, bitch, please.
Damn.
I've done that.
That's gnarly, dude.
Well, I don't.
After
do it.
like the second time, it's just pure pain.
No, I'm just pure
Man,
animal.
you are god level.
Not anymore. I live with
it's died
someone
down,
now,
huh?
dude. From like age 10 or 11 to age 25. I don't think I went more than a day at a time. I never went
Dude.
2 consecutive days without masturbating. And now that I live with someone, I just will just like not masturbate for like a couple days. And then I'm like at work, like smashing frappuccinos with my hands. I'm like, what am I doing?
What is this muscle
I'm
memory?
like bumping into coworkers and like seeing red. I'm like, he had long hair. It's enough. I gotta just. Oh my god!
That's right. You had long hair. I almost forgot about that. Damn.
Me having long hair?
been such a
I
long
had
time since
hippie
I've seen
hair
you.
and a mustache. It was crazy. The mustache comes and goes. I love having
you
a
going
mustache.
back and forth or what?
Yeah. Well, now that I know I can grow like a good one,
You kind of feels good, huh?
not 2 days ago, I was like, oh my god, my mustache is gone. I shaved it months ago, but I'm still like,
Whoa.
oh shit, my mustache is gone.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm fucking like, I expect to have one. Sometimes when I picture myself, I have a mustache and I'm smiling.
Oh,
and like,
that must be
I
weird.
don't have it. It's kind of weird
Yeah.
mentally. Like my Twitter is still like long hair, mustache, good photo taken by Allie Wallace herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that brings me back. You asked, what was the question about the podcast?
Oh, I was like, is there anything you don't like about my podcast?
Sometimes I feel like you do struggle with things to talk about.
Yeah, I really do.
And I can tell because your transitions during topics. You know what I mean? What is your favorite thing to do between a transition?
I don't transition between topics. I'm on the topic until something presents itself.
Right. And there's almost a beauty in between that, right?
No, it's fucking
Well, 'cause
haphazard. It's really uncomfortable.
It's free form.
It's stream of consciousness, but sometimes your consciousness is wrong.
But then you have to take into the account, I guess, what is more consumable. I hate that word, consumable.
Yeah, like what is more not consumable, but palatable.
Yeah, I like that better.
Like what
like
people
that better.
can interface with.
Yeah, and I think you were saying before we started the podcast that you had started worrying less about how often you got content out rather than
giving something
exactly
of more quality.
And I think that did help. It really did.
I noticed that my download amount was not affected by it, which was interesting.
Really?
I think December and January had the same exact download amount to the number, which has never happened, where I went back to back, both numbers the same. So there was the first consistency.
Mm-hmm.
It's either gone up or down. It's never been totally straight, totally normal. So I had 412 downloads in December and 412 downloads in January. And right now I'm probably sitting at about 300 for February.
Okay. That's still kind of a lot. Well, probably in the grand scale of everyone that's putting out a damn podcast, but just think about
I'm ranked 163 in comedy podcasts in Pakistan.
What? Dude.
So in all of Pakistan, there's 162 other podcasts that people consider comedy, which, let's be honest, I guarantee I'm funnier than a lot of those. They just happen to be like, I say funny things sometimes. You know, there's some YouTuber that's like, I'm clearly a comedian because I'm so zany. I'm definitely funnier than that fucking dumb cunt. But, you know, they just have better, YouTube presence than I do. So they're ahead of me.
How do you measure success with the podcast?
I think I measure success on the podcast with the amount of interactions I get with listeners.
Okay.
Downloads.
Well, what is that? Is it downloads?
Downloads.
That's something I'm
matter.
not used to. So
downloads.
Is it? Can you see your streams, or is it just like someone that decides to
I
download?
could probably see how long people listen to it, but I'm not really like, I don't fucking care how long they listen to it, because I don't finish every podcast. That doesn't mean I love it any less. Mm-hmm. It just means, hey, I have 12 other podcasts I listen to, and my girlfriend was horny that day. I decided to hit pause. Like, that's all that is, you know? It's just, I had to work that day. I couldn't fucking finish the podcast. And then I was out of love with that conversation, so I
Okay.
moved on to the next one
Yeah.
because that's how I go about my day. And the fact that someone is still subscribed, still downloading, means a hell of a lot more than someone who is not subscribed, not downloading, but is like fake to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Liking my posts on Instagram. Suck my dick. I don't give a shit.
Okay. Well, would you like more people to find your podcast is the thing?
Yeah, I want like a ton of fucking people to listen to. I want to be enjoyed, and I want to be made a parody of, and I want people to have a stereotype idea. I want people to go, "Oh, Dallas Bronson starter pack."
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
Like,
how you know you've made it.
yeah, it's like I totally want that, but also I want people to appreciate the moments of this conversation that are very down to earth, very realistic, and very kind of emotionally driven, and not just like saying dick balls.
Yeah.
You know, not farting in the bathroom.
Right. You gotta have a good. You gotta have a good balance, huh?
Yeah. So, I've really had a few really successful moments, in my opinion, with conversations. I've had conversations with someone where one or both of us is holding back tears,
I'm
which
trying to remember the episodes. You don't have to pick them out if you don't want to, but
Yeah.
I've definitely felt that during some episodes.
where that's really important to me.
Yeah.
Because I got to, not only did I get to have a conversation in an environment that is so unique, which is microphones, people psychologically being aware of people listening to the thing you're talking about, and then harnessing vulnerability, very important to me. That's very unique, very powerful.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite moments are when I almost exclusively just listen to comedians' podcasts when they're real, when they're not making dumb jokes,
Yeah.
when they're not making fun of something, and they get really real, like really important to me. When Joe Rogan talks about Anthony Bourdain and he's like holding back tears, and I go, that was his friend. And I love both of them, and they both changed my world and life, and I do 20 new things that I never thought I'd do. The fact that I fucking got a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and I wrote Anthony Bourdain's name in my gi because he was a blue belt in jiu-jitsu and he killed himself. And I got invigorated and reignited my like interest in it because of him. Like just like the constant cyclical or like cyclical, but like connections those make through like vulnerability. I'm like, oh fuck,
That's pretty awesome,
holy
dude.
shit, like I love that. That's so nice when I get to have a serious conversation. And then also when I get to have a conversation that pushes boundaries. Some of the most offensive things that have ever been said on my podcast, most downloaded episodes. I'll tell you who it is.
I love that.
I'll tell you who it is after,
Okay.
because I don't want to make anyone feel bad for not
Right,
being the
right,
most
right.
downloaded guest or whatever. But
It better be Phil. I love those
I
episodes.
can't believe you love Phil. That's so
do.
funny.
I don't know. There's something about that guy.
It's not funny, but it's just like you enjoy Phil. No one's told me they enjoy one person more than the next.
That first episode with Phil, though, my favorite.
It broke the entire barrier of this is what the podcast is going to be like. I'm so glad you like it. That was the first
Yeah.
of its kind.
Yeah,
for me.
the stories
First
that he
guest,
told
really.
too, like just visually.
He's literally
So
probably
good.
working right up there at the same hotel I did right now.
Really?
Yeah. What time is it? He'll be there in an hour. Probably.
crash the party.
I should probably wrap this up and fucking let Kylie back into her hotel room.
Oh, what time is it?
It's 10.
No, she's okay.
She's okay. I need to make sure she's still alive out there.
Yeah,
Take
no.
a peek out the window.
Yeah, wrap it up whenever you feel like wrapping it up. But in the very least, I hope we keep doing at least yearly updates.
Yeah,
between you and I.
I mean, yeah. So far, it's been really nice
So-
to have. Did you want to hear that Surf Connection story?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, yeah,
Lay it
sorry.
on me.
So this is a skate shop. It's
I remember-
it's a surf shop that
Yeah.
sells skateboards. They
Yeah.
don't care about skateboarding, which is my opinion. Everything from here on is just my experience, my opinion, and doesn't necessarily reflect the entity that is Surf Connection
Okay.
in Lompoc, which I don't shop at, and I don't live there anyway.
Soiled.
I got a job there when I was 19 years old, and I worked there for about 7 weeks. And I had my day off, and I went to go see. This is when me and Kylie were broken up when I worked
Right.
here.
Okay.
I went to San Luis Obispo to go see the Adolescents, which is a classic hardcore punk band from the 80s.
Yeah.
The bassist is now dead.
Oh, fuck.
You'll never see that again. I got to see him live. I bought
That must feel fucking amazing, though.
I went
Really?
there with the flu, which I know is
Oh
like,
my God.
yeah, how dare you?
Did you even wear a mask?
Yeah, I went there, which would essentially make me like a criminal if I
Yeah.
did that now. But I went with like a 2-day flu, just like random sickness out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't get sick very often, so it was really like the only reason I went to the show is because I bought tickets for me and my friend Catherine, and I told her we could totally go. Just you got to give me a ride home or drive me there or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my only like stipulation. I was already sick before the show started, and I knew I had work the next day. So I called out and I said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well. I don't think we're going to be able to come into work tomorrow. It just is not going to happen." I go to the show, have a great time.
Okay.
I get a ride home, go to sleep, wake up the next day. I had posted a picture of me and my friend at the show
Oh, I feel like I know where this is
on
going.
my day off. On my day off, which I can do what I fucking damn well fucking please on my fucking day off. This is America, bitch. Everyone that follows me on Instagram also works at Surf Connection,
Fantastic.
who were at the time were the two sons of the owners. These
Oh, no.
they just assumed, oh, he just must have went out, partied, got too drunk, and is
And called out.
hungover, and called out.
Yeah. That's what I did that I got
I
fired.
did not drink whatsoever. It was a rare time when I wasn't drinking
Yeah.
in my life. I was sick, so I called preemptively because I knew it would be better for them to find coverage a day in advance rather than
The day of.
come. Yeah, day of.
Yeah.
So I get a phone call the next morning saying, we're going to part ways.
Dude.
And I'm like, why? And I'm like, because the way it looks like you were being dishonest with us. And it's like, I'm actually fucking sick. I'm allowed to do what I want on my day off. I was honoring a promise of, I bought tickets for me and my friend. I spent $80 from money you paid me, bitch, to fucking go to a show. I'm there against my, like, I don't want to be there partially because I'm sick, but I'm also happy I'm there because I had a great time.
Yeah.
So
Regardless.
they fired me over that.
I'd believe it.
And I come in to get my last paycheck, still sick, like can't talk out of my throat. I eventually had like some sort of like strep throat or something.
Oh, that shit's gnarly,
And
dude.
the look on the fucking two sons' faces when they found out I'm actually still sick and I'm picking up my last check of like, oh, we fucked up. And like to hear from my like other friends that they were talking about firing me, like, oh yeah, he just went and like probably like got drunk or something and was just lying to us. And it's like, no, I was being a good employee in my eyes. So I said, fuck you guys. I will never shop here again. And I didn't. And I voted with my dollar by never spending another dime there. Always directing my friends away from there and telling them this story and still being bitter about it now to this day.
Jeez. No, I get it, though. I mean, at least you had an honorable story. I actually got drunk.
I didn't.
But seriously.
I was sick. If I didn't post an Instagram photo, I would have still had that job, and then I would have been working for these assholes.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'll be honest with you,
what would have been better,
everyone
right?
thought they were assholes anyway. I've never heard good things about the family. I've hung out with them outside of work. I've never been like, oh yeah, these people are fucking radical. They'll support me and my lifestyle and make my. It was just
I love working for them.
They were looking for an excuse to get rid of me.
Yeah.
Because you know how I am. I speak my mind. I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
At one point, the owner said, "So, how are things going?" And I was like, "Oh, I feel like some people are kind of like being a little." I forget what I said. I think
Probably something really good, huh?
I was like, I feel like people are kind of. I think I might have said condescending, but I was like one of those kind of words where I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of getting like a strange vibe, like. I might have said disingenuous.
Yeah.
And
That's a good word.
I know, but you gotta know. I'm telling the owner that her sons are being one way. So Mama.
Oh, you're asking you to
Mama
fire her,
Bird's
though.
gonna go. Yeah, fired. So, also the husband, he's a fucking weirdo asshole. Anyways, I met him like 2 or 3 times, and I was just like, good God.
Oh, please get away
Fucking
from me.
like burnt psycho. It's a surf shop. Who do you think owns it? A fucking a predatory surfer guy. Just like, it's like there's too much salt water in your brain for you to connect with other humans.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
We're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, he just
Like, how do you even own a business?
I don't know. People own businesses all the time. There's people who own corporations that are just pure sociopaths.
That makes a lot of
That's how it
sense.
is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be a little impersonal,
Yeah.
and they have a successful small business. Obviously, what they're doing works.
Yeah.
I'm not here to, be any more critical other than my own personal experience. And if anyone has a brainstem, they're gonna know. Oh, Dallas is just bitter because he got fired. I'll still go buy my
being a
sex.
bitch about
I'll
it.
still go buy my sex wax air fresheners from there, which is all they're good for.
Where are they based from? Where's the
Lompoc.
shop?
Lompoc.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I never come over here, so
Good.
We're not even in
Yeah.
Lompoc, so we're doing a good job.
Oh, it's so funny. I've like driven by and like thought of like just like throwing a rock in the window, just like petty shit. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck you guys. I hope this building burns down. Fuck your inventory.
You're not mad though, right?
I'm over it.
Okay. Yeah, he's over it.
Yeah, I'll probably regret saying all that because I really have not had any of that feeling for a long time.
Yeah.
But I needed to deliver the story in its.
I haven't
most
heard the story. It's
earnest,
great.
Like, I haven't told this story or been bitter about it in so long. I'm
Mm-hmm.
literally just being dramatic now,
You know what's even weirder?
theatrical. What?
You're not going to end this episode with your catchphrase.
I'm not. What are you gonna end it with?
I don't know. How are you going to end it? It's your show.
I mean, I can end it however I want.
I'm waiting.
Well, you know what? The next time we have an episode, I'll have a better ending for you.
Okay. We can end with a cheer.
What is it?
Do this again next year.
Deal.
Deal.
Cheers.
Cheers.